I've been sort of really looking at why people struggle in working with their thinking, and we've been working on this for quite a while now, a couple of years. And what we've actually found is that, you know, people will say to you, doctors will say to you, I'll say to you, your therapist will say to you, other people will say to you, it's not going to happen. Your worst fears are not going to come true. And intellectually we may believe that, but emotionally we don't. And we really do, and part of the recovery process, and this is now actually, for me, this is a major part of the recovery process, is we need to bring our emotional development up to the level of our intellectual development. Intellectually we've matured, and most of us have above average IQs. Intellectually we've matured, and physically we've matured, but emotionally we're still stuck as we were as children. We have not grown emotionally past that stage. And the reason why we haven't is because we want everyone to like us. We want everyone to love us. And there's nothing wrong in wanting to be liked, and there's nothing wrong in wanting to be loved, but we've turned it into an art form. Our whole life is a creation to get everyone to think well of us. And there are some people with an anxiety disorder that are coming from an abuse background, but not everyone is. But it doesn't matter if you're coming from an abuse background or not. For all of us, the need to be liked, the need to be loved, is causing us now a lot of damage. You know, yesterday I was saying that, you know, we've become really good, nice people. We're the strong ones in the family. We're the ones that everyone comes to with their problems. We're taking care of everyone's happiness, taking care of everybody's feelings. The word no is not in our vocabulary. And this is, we have not evolved from that point on. When I'm talking about this, and people go, oh God, when I'm talking about this, I always talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And everyone that's been, you know, gone to university has been force-fed Maslow. But his developmental theory is very, very legitimate, and it's very, very real, and we are living, breathing proof of this. Maslow was a pioneer in humanist psychology and in transpersonal psychology. And he, rather than do what Freud and Adler and Jung did, he wanted to know what put the word health into mental. And he developed a developmental model based on a series of needs. And the first set of needs comes into play the moment we're born. We need air to breathe and we need nourishment. And those needs are met. If they weren't, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. So that set of needs has been met. The next set of needs, once this one set of needs has been met, the next set of needs comes into play. And the next set of needs are the safety needs. We need personal safety and safety from the environment. And for a lot of us, those needs have been met. I mean, we all have shelter, whether it be a mansion or a tent. We all have shelter from the environment and from the saber-toothed kangaroos and wallabies and stuff like that. So we have, so we do have protection from the environment. A lot of us do have our personal safety needs met, but people coming from an abuse background, their safety needs may have never been met, and it may still be carried over into adulthood, and they may be in an abusive adult relationship. So for them, there is a set of needs, their personal safety needs have not been met. The next set of needs comes into play, and that's the need to belong. And that's where all of us are stuck, at the need to belong level, including people coming from an abuse background. And it's the need to belong. We need to belong to our family. You know, as children, we need to belong. We need to be loved. I mean, our parents or you know, significant others, you know, our welfare is totally in their hands. The next set of needs up is the self-esteem needs. And the self-esteem needs are in direct contradiction to the need to belong. And I'll come back to these two in a minute. The next level after the self-esteem needs is the true potential. That we, at that level, we meet the true potential, the full potential of all that we could be. But there's no way known that we could ever meet our full potential at the moment because we're still stuck at the need to belong. And having people like us, having people love us, there's no way we could fulfill our true potential, because what will everyone think? They may not like me. The next level up is the transcendental needs, the spiritual needs. And there's another 7 layers after that, but we're not going to go there. We're going to come back down again to the need to belong. With the need to belong, we take responsibility. With the need to belong. When I'm talking about self-esteem, I always use the works of Nathaniel Branden. His work on self-esteem is absolutely brilliant. And one of his books is called The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. And it's not one of your warm and fuzzy new age books, stand in front of the mirror, I love myself, warm, huggy sort of stuff. It's very, very demanding. It doesn't pull any punches, and it's very, very real. And it's one of the best books I've ever read on self-esteem. And he talks about the 6 pillars of self-esteem being, the first one is living consciously. And that's what I actually call awareness or mindfulness. The second one is self-acceptance. The third one is self-assertiveness. The fourth one is self-responsibility. The fifth one is personal integrity. And the sixth one is living purposefully. And they are in direct contradiction to the need to belong. At the need to belong, whereas if we're at the self-esteem level, we are being very mindful, we're being very, very aware. Or as he says, living consciously. We are aware of ourselves, we're aware of our thoughts, we're aware of our interactions with other people, we're aware when we're betraying our responsibility to ourselves, we're aware when we're violating our integrity. At the need to belong level, we are not aware. We're on automatic pilot. We are just living our life without any thought at all. We're just doing what we think we should do, what we have to do. At the need to belong level, we certainly do not accept ourselves in any way, shape or form. And that's long before we developed an anxiety disorder. Most of us don't like ourselves. A lot of people loathe themselves. A lot of people hate themselves. At best, you may think neutrally about yourself, but you don't care about yourself. So there's no self-acceptance at all. But at the self-esteem level, there is full self-acceptance. This is who I am. The next one is self-assertiveness at the self-esteem level. At the need to belong, and self-assertiveness means that we know what our wants and our needs are, and we can meet our wants and needs. But the need to belong level, we are certainly not self-assertive. We're passive-aggressive. We're incredibly passive, and one day we may explode for 5 seconds and it's all over, and we're back to being passive again. Plus, we don't know our wants and needs. We've got no idea. I say to people, what do you want? What do you need? I say, what about recovery? Don't you need that? Oh, yes. We have no idea of what our wants and what our needs are, let alone to be able to assert ourselves. You know how I was talking about yesterday with the meditation, how we will lose people from the meditation session because they've got too many other things to do for everybody else. So we're not assertive and we're not working towards meeting our own needs. At the next one is self-responsibility at the self-esteem level. At the need to belong level, we are not responsible for ourselves. We are the most responsible group of people I've ever met, but we are not responsible for ourselves. We're responsible for everybody else. We're taking care of everybody else's feelings the whole time. We're usually the peacemaker in the family. The one that everyone comes to with their problems, trying to make everyone feel happy, trying to make everyone feel good. And we are simply not being responsible for who we are. The next one at the self-esteem level is personal integrity. We are the most honest group of people that I've ever met. I would trust you guys with my wallet, just sitting on the table. But we are not honest with ourselves and we're not honest with other people. Every time you say, yes, I'd love to do that, we're not being honest to ourselves or the other person. We're saying, yes, love to, I can't wait. We're not being honest. But we're saying yes because we don't want to hurt their feelings and we don't want them to think bad of us. and we are not honest with ourselves, because the need to be all things to all people, the need for everyone to like us and love us, means we have a whole range of masks that we wear. We have a mask for our partner, a mask for our kids, a mask for one friend, another mask for another friend, and perhaps another mask over here for family members, and another mask over here, and at work we're wearing another mask. We are too frightened to be ourselves, and by wearing all the masks that we wear, we are not being honest with ourselves, we're not being honest with other people. And we're not allowing other people the opportunity. We don't trust everybody else with who we are because we don't trust ourselves. So while we are very morally honest, well, that's probably the wrong word. While we're honest in one way, we are not honest with ourselves and other people. We're betraying our integrity to self. At the self-esteem level, it's living purposefully, practicing all the other five. Self-responsibility, personal integrity, and living our lives purposefully. But at the need to belong, we're playing Dusty Springfield, wishing and hoping and planning and dreaming. We are not working purposefully towards anything. We just, I wish my disorder would go away, I hope it goes away, or what if I do this, or what if I do that? But we're not really directly, fully involved in purposefully living our life. And we've stayed stuck at the need to belong level. We have not, emotionally, we are still at the need to belong level. We're still relating to ourselves and the world around us as we did as children. We have not moved up the developmental ladder. And this is the bottom line for all of us as to why we do not believe what we're saying to ourselves. Or we do not believe what other people are saying to us about our anxiety disorder. We simply don't believe it because we haven't got the emotional development to believe it. Does that make sense? Does anyone want to ask any questions? You're more than welcome to ask.
What was the first in these 6 pillars? What was the first one?
Living consciously, which I call awareness or being mindful. Yes, yeah. Does anyone else want to ask me any questions? Oh, thank you. If we look at it, emotionally, and you don't need to be coming from an abuse background for this to happen. It happens to all of us. It's just how we've actually all been brought up. It's just society. It's just Western society. But we learnt from a very early age, that who we were was not appropriate. And you've got to remember, as children, we didn't have the intellectual development, we didn't have the language skills to sometimes understand the thousands and thousands of messages that were thrown at us as children. We learnt from a very early age that being angry was not appropriate. If we got angry, what happened to us? If you get angry at your children now, what happens? Don't you get angry with me, smack, 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 go to your room. And so we learn, oh gosh, being angry is not good. If I get angry, people are not going to like me, people are not going to love me. So we turned our anger off. But it's still there. I mean, some of us are so skilled at suppressing our anger that we don't even know when we get angry. It just immediately, we turn it off, or we roll it up, or throw it into a jar and screw the lid down. And that's why we're incredibly passive people, because we've never, ever, ever been taught the full experience to fully express and feel our anger. What about our grief and sadness? Men were taught, boys were taught, boys don't cry. And eldest daughters were taught, shut up, be quiet and go and look after your brothers and sisters. We learnt not to cry, not to feel our grief and sadness. And it's quite extraordinary. It's quite extraordinary. In some of the